All right, welcome to this massive, all-important clash between India and Sri Lanka. Sarcasm alert. For the first time in the Super 4, we've got an official dead rubber. Okay.
Today's meeting between two teams could have been an email, could have been a WhatsApp chat, could have been a text message, could have been a call. It could have been anything. Why does it have to be a full-on match?
Yeah.
But it is.
It is a full-on match, but the attention isn't on this match as such. Because see, Sri Lanka eliminated, India are in the final. It's as clear as that. But there is another match going on outside of the Dubai International Cricket Stadium.
Well, that's been happening for a while now, if it's the same match you and I are talking about.
I think, are you in the power play now at this point in time or in the death overs? Because there are a lot of reports coming out and we have got it RFA'd also. That
They will not know what RFA means.
That is our technical jargon. There is some...
I was thinking about that.
But there is some confirmation and confusion over three things. Haris Rauf fined 30%. Correct? Incorrect?
Correct.
Saibzada Farhan let off with a warning.
Correct.
Surya Kumar Yadav also fined, but BCCI are going to appeal.
Also
Have
correct.
appealed. Have appealed.
Have appealed. Okay. So,
Also, perhaps fined.
a fine. Not a demerit point. It may be a fine.
30%.
30%.
No demerit points added in the record of Surya Kumar Yadav. 30% match fee fined for bringing in politics in the realm of sport. And this is to do with the match on the 14th of September, not the one that took place on the 21st of September. All hearings have concluded. There's one that took place yesterday, which featured the Indian captain, Surya Kumar Yadav. To begin with, he pleaded not guilty, but that was dismissed by the ICC. Today, there were two hearings that took place. The first one featuring Saibzada Farhan for, you know what, and
The gun pointed in the reverse direction, but
exactly
At himself.
for the ulti manduk, the barrel was pointing at
himself?
At himself, and but he's managed to get away with it unscathed, even though the barrel was at him. Perhaps it didn't fire enough because.
And they do it in weddings and they do it in this kind of function.
Yeah, that's one thing he said. He says that I'm a Pathan at the area that I come from. We do this. This is common, common in our culture. It's culturally acceptable, and we do it at weddings as well. He also cited Virat Kohli doing the very same, and Mahendra Singh Dhoni doing the very same. This is something that he cited in the hearing that took place. So he's been given a warning and let off. However, his teammate, who's busy gesturing and probably if he had planned much better for his bowling, and if he was doing that on the ropes and not engaging with the crowd, maybe it would have reflected better in his team's performance and his performance also. Even though he was okay that day, but perhaps he could have done a bit more than being involved in those antics. He has been fined. Haris Rauf has been fined 30% of his match fee.
Okay, so, but India have decided to appeal.
Why don't you come here and do this?
No, that's an old reaction. That's an old video. Because it has a sponsor which is no longer affiliated with Indian cricket. That's a fact check indeed.
Indeed. So, India have decided to appeal, but then let's look at the chronology. Remember, it is not over the handshake. Okay, let's make one thing very clear here. It is not about not giving a handshake, because ICC rules clearly state that it is not mandatory to shake hands. But this is a test case of how do you control political gestures on the field. Because as far as political message and everything is concerned, it is regulated only in the clothing and equipment of the ICC. The rule is in that. Rule 1F, in which it says no political messaging of any kind will be entertained or approved. Classic cases, Moeen Ali, Free Palestine wristbands in 2014, and also the insignia,
Balidan badge.
Balidan that MS Dhoni and the rest of the team had worn.
No, just MS.
Even
It was just
there was
MS.
also a cap also.
But that cap was worn in a bilateral
Bilateral.
match. That was against Australia, so that there was no problems. Yeah.
Then you had Usman Khwaja, Free Palestine on the shoe that was written here. Every time ICC is only censured. But what do you do with action on the field? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. The 1968 black fist salute. Did the IOC condemn it?
No, but ever since then, Siddharth, it is worth noting that the what you're talking about, John Carlos and Tommy Smith, that was the last protest of any kind that was registered in the Olympics, because now the Olympics have made it very clear that no political statements of any nature will be entertained. So an athlete can't possibly, let's say, do anything which is construed as being political. I'll give you another example. FIFA also bans any kind of political statements that are being made during the tournament. A case in point, I remember there was a lot of speculation. This was during 2017 when the Under-17 World Cup, FIFA, was taking place in India. There was a lot of chatter that the US team might actually kneel during the anthem or whatever as a show of solidarity against the racial protests that were taking place. Yes, to show solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement. They didn't, because if they did, they would have actually been in flouting FIFA rules. So nowadays, the IOC rules, FIFA rules, and truth be told, rules for all of these prevent any kind of political message being spread. So if you go back in time, when was the last time you saw anything of that sort? John Carlos and Tommy Smith was the first and last.
Yeah, that was about it. And FIFA also, but okay, FIFA had one test case in Shaqiri doing that celebration.
Yeah, and they did actually warn him for it.
Yeah.
So
it was a warning. He was not fined.
I don't remember what exactly it was. It's been a while. I'll have to check. But he was noted for doing it.
Yeah.
And I think he had to not do it in like subsequent matches.
Jardan Shaqiri.
Jardan Shaqiri, yeah.
So, cricket is now facing a test case as to where do you need explicit rules for these kind of political gestures. Because let's make one thing very clear here, okay? Did Surya Kumar Yadav make a political statement? I think we are all on the same page that he did.
Yeah.
14th, he clearly did. On the field of play, on the press conference, he clearly did it. But, whether it is right or wrong, that we leave it to all of you guys to decide. Many people will feel it was right. After all, a very ghastly incident had taken place in April, May.
Yeah, I think, but see, Siddharth, the problem, I don't think it would have been there had he just dedicated it to the Pahalgam victims.
He dedicated to the armed forces.
Exactly. Bringing in
That's
the
an
armed
extension
forces.
of the state and political world.
Correct. Bringing in the armed forces is where things got murky. Because I think if you had left it to being dedicated to the victims, it would have still been flying under the radar.
100% agree.
But dedicating it to the Indian armed forces and saying that, us and the government are in unison and these kind of things is where the political angle comes in.
And it was reiterated then later on, remember?
Correct.
In the press conference as well. In the press conference that took place. So there is, I think, going by the rule book, there is no denying the fact that there was some overstepping done by the Indian captain as well.
Absolutely. So, yes, he did make a political statement. Let's make no mistake about it. But on the other hand, Pakistan's gestures, they are outright provocative. But again, you fall into this cultural subjectivity trap. The world will not know what it is. Maybe Haris Rauf in his defense will say, our momentum is going down. Maybe our net run rate is going to take a hit. Our fortunes are dipping. Who knows? But I don't know about the 6-0 bit. I don't know about the gun celebration. Maybe this again falls into bilateral situation.
It does, but I mean, see, Siddharth, if you go by examples, say for instance, the whole, like the Jardan Shaqiri thing, the reference to that comes from the whole Kosovo sort of
Albania,
situation. Yeah, so the Kosovo-Albania thing. That's also technically not an international issue, right? It's an issue that is localized to Balkan Europe, but he was noted for making that sort of a statement. So Haris Rauf might try and claim ignorance and say, oh, how is 6-0 related to India? But brother, we're not fools. Respectfully, no one's sitting here as a fool.
And in the case of Shaqiri, it was very blatant. Well, that eagle symbol, everyone knows about it. There is a lot of history attached to it. 6-0. You need to be politically aware per se or be knowing of what's happened over the course of the last few months. However, in the case of Jardan Shaqiri, it goes back a long way in history, and that eagle celebration's just been banned for a reason, and that's why we'll have to again check. Even I don't remember, but I remember it making a lot of headline at that time because it's just disbarred given the political tension in that whole region and how this has been for forever been looked down upon. So it was unbecoming of him to do that as well.
Yeah. So see, now cricket will need.
But taking that into account, and because we've also said that, listen, we need to understand where players come from as well, and if Surya said that because he was the one who was hurled abuses at once he shook hands with Salman Ali Agha, even though he did that.
And Mohsin Naqvi.
And Mohsin Naqvi, even though he did that half-heartedly, and you could see that those handshakes weren't warm handshakes, but they were very cold and very fleeting also. But one needs to understand where Shaqiri was coming from, where Surya was also coming from, and this is the player sentiment. They're individuals as well, and this is perhaps that time where you're expecting them to be perfect individuals and cast aside whatever they may be feeling in that moment. For both, I'm saying Shaqiri and Surya Kumar Yadav, and that's when the emotion gets the better of you and you perhaps cross the line, forgetting that you are the representative of a sporting entity, and sport does not allow you to do that while you could be celebrating a goal, while you could be attending or you could just be elated with winning a match. You need to be very, very conscious of what you speak and what you do, but the lines are very, very thin.
See, now it is very much clear, like all those people who are
And by the way, I need to point out, Shaqiri was fined.
was fine. Okay.
So he was hit with a $10,000 fine. In fact, it was not just him, but another Swiss player of Kosovan origin who was Granit Xhaka. Who, of course, was the captain in 2018 of the Swiss side. He also was fined because he had also joined in another celebration.
Correct. I think Switzerland, were taking out Serbia only in that particular 2018.
And that's what makes it even more tense, because Serbia are one of the key reasons why. In fact, one of Serbia's greatest ever athletes, Novak Djokovic, has constantly provoked outrage by claiming that by saying that Albania and Kosovo are all part of Serbia. So that's also ruffled a lot of feathers. So that's why he did it. That's why Xhaka did it. And
Shaqiri.
Yeah.
So see, politics and sport in this Asia Cup has clearly shown that they mingle. You can't keep it away when it is India versus Pakistan. Okay. So the ICC will have to come up, and whatever going forward, if there are encounters between them, you need to set clear-cut examples of what is political provocation. Because this is clear-cut provocation, but we know, because we are in the culture here. A guy sitting in the West Indies, a guy sitting in America, or a guy sitting in England may be ignorant about the fact.
But see, again, going back to the whole thing with Shaqiri, there would have been a lot of people who had no idea what he was doing. In fact, the celebration, which I will depict here, since it's an Indian channel, it's like this, right? So he does this. This celebration was used a lot by France and former Chelsea striker Nicolas Anelka.
Oh yeah.
So he used it, and there was no actual connotation towards an eagle. He had no allegiance towards Kosovo or Serbia or anything. It was nothing. It was just a celebration he did. So no one really knew about it. Even when it happened, I remember at that point, people were confused as to why that is the case. That's also, it's significant from a cultural perspective to people from there. Similarly, though, if he's talking about 6-0, he's referencing a lie that has been peddled by the Pakistani side, saying that 6 fighter jets were targeted or brought down. There's a reason he's saying that. We know that much. So why can't awareness be spread in it? And if it is a case of, the world doesn't know, but then the Indians know, right? If we say something towards, which is a statement towards, or seen as something that Pakistan can say towards the slide, we can say that, maybe the world doesn't know, but Pakistanis know, right? So then, why actually crash across that?
And also looking at Anelka and Shaqiri. Again, a Ronaldo doing this thing has a different connotation altogether than what Mohsin Naqvi tried to peddle.
That just tells you the mindset. That just tells you what exactly is it that the Pakistan camp believes in at the moment, which is just perpetrating lies at the moment. That just seems to be. See, why did you use Cristiano Ronaldo celebration from the month of February? Because you wanted to have that mass appeal. That was it. It had no relevance. The timing was a mismatch. The context was a complete mismatch. Why is it? Because you wanted to use the image and the recall value that a Ronaldo celebration has, with whether you're a Ronaldo supporter or not. If you're just watching football and you know what Ronaldo has been up to in terms of his celebration, he's one of those who puts his celebrations out very openly. And then when he does that, it's taken out of context, because it was firstly done a few months before Operation Sindoor was not even being planned. Exactly. So what's Pakistan thinking again? The whole thinking, the whole sick mentality of Pakistan and its cricket, I think, is just rearing an ugly head. And it did rear an ugly head a couple of days back as well. Just another chapter, I would say, of Pakistan doing Pakistan things.
It's like an average memer. It reminds me of that. It's like an average memer. Just someone finding something and being like, like there's I'll give you an example. There's this one picture which goes viral a lot of Tom from the cartoon Tom and Jerry, where he's standing like this. And people use it to compare him to Kylian Mbappe, because that's Mbappe's celebration. So this is meme stuff.
I wonder how much the Pakistan media would have done to tell its own populace about the truth behind Ronaldo's celebration. Now, what does the common man believe if there is a famous entity, if there is the interior minister, for example, going ahead and posting a Ronaldo celebration without clearly giving context and without establishing that it dates back to the month of February? You're fooling your own people, and those who will not care to find out the truth will believe that the interior minister is telling them the absolute truth. And if I voted for him, if I am somebody, if I'm a citizen of Pakistan, I will believe every word that the elected representative is saying. And this is where the role of the media comes in. How much of the media, and this is where my doubt about Pakistan, its credentials, the democracy that it feels it is, and the state of the media over there, I doubt if the real facts should have been put out over there. And this is where propaganda building begins from.
See, Pakistan have been living on propaganda only, okay? Let's make no mistake about it. Their cricket also, they had a sense of false pride in the 80s and the 90s. Sure, their stats backed it up. They were probably the second best team in the world at that point in time, in the 80s and the 90s. But now, same bravado that you're trying to show, it looks misplaced, totally. That is why we have been focusing on only off-field action. The cricket has been secondary in India-Pakistan matches. But because there is no clear-cut rules on political provocations on the field, there is no rivalry. It is just an enmity. Because there is one side, let's make one thing very clear even here also, okay? Unpopular opinion, but the Indian players had to be aligned with the government to put out that statement. They followed instructions from our government also. These guys, what do you expect them to do? Have a free mind of their own? No. Pakistan having a free mind has never happened ever since creation. They have always been quasi-dictators and politicians running the game of cricket. So that's how their thinking is at this point in time. But however, Pakistan have always crossed the line, and they have clearly shown it not once but twice. Twice. Even in the practice session that they had, and even on 21st, they had it. I don't know what the fans were giving it to Harisov. I don't know what was the chant all about. Something must have really triggered him off that he gave that kind of a celebration. That's it.
So one of the reasons was Kohli chants being sent as well.
I heard Kohli chants. There were multiple videos.
Exactly.
Veracity of which is out there now. And yeah, clearly...
Which I have to wonder. He's thousands of miles away. Peacefully he's sitting. Why drag his name in this and...
The six.
I know that. I know that.
See, that's sport, Siddharth. That's just sport.
Yeah.
You get reminded of past score lines so often in football.
Yeah.
Past instances and
how many times Saudi Arabian fans have chanted Messi at Ronaldo? Messi doesn't even play in the Saudi Arabian League. He's playing happily in US.
And it does impact Ronaldo.
Yeah, he does get rattled. It does happen. It's a very normal thing. As athletes, you are always a little bit on the boil, as far as your emotional this thing goes. So it will affect you. And that's what the Indian fans were trying to do. They tried to get under his skin and it worked. It worked a treat. It was an absolute treat.
We got that spectacle where he's doing that particular provocative gesture. So yeah, ICC need to have some rules on political provocation.
Or better yet, enforce their rules.
I think the rules are there. If you ask me, I think the rules are there.
I just mentioned that one, only in that one particular way. No messaging on the clothes or on any equipment or
No, but it's very clearly established that you cannot bring or communicate or have any sort of messaging through the means of a game. You can't just use it as the means of conveying any sort of a political message.
In a normal world, if they had not complained, this would have not even come up. In a normal world, you've seen so many other instances of this happening, but it's all gone under the radar because India, Pakistan.
Also, you have to remember that technically the Sky incident which you're talking about dates back to nearly 2 weeks now. And the only reason it got dragged up is because India put in a complaint against the actions taken in the second match.
So that we knew about Pakistan, it barked up the wrong tree. Andy Pycroft was not the area of concern for them, or was not supposed to be the bull that they ended up catching. The real issue was if as a legal unit, whatever, I'm guessing they have a legal unit as well, and if you were looking at getting at India for what Surya said and the handshake bit, whatever it was, you should have known that looking at the whole Surya thing of what he said, anyone who follows cricket knows that what Surya did, and we knew it back then as well, the moment that he dedicated that win, that this is overstepping. This is not permitted in the rules. Pakistan were just slow to realize, and once they lost the Andy Pycroft battle, saving grace, they wanted to look at something else, and then they realized, okay, we can take up the Surya Kumar issue as well. I in fact believe that there should be a deadline as well for how long you can take up an issue. This is now a retrospective sort of a fine that he will be imposed on Surya Kumar Yadav. There should be a deadline to what point you can raise an issue or raise the complaint.
I mean, it's dragged on for 2 weeks now.
Yeah, 14 that took place, we're on the 26th, so 12 days.
Yeah,
it's taken Pakistan cricket to wake up.
ICC have been slow in these kind of things, and that's why we are not heard the last of it. Tomorrow also there will be some major thing. We don't know the press conference what's going to happen, because there will, I think, be a captain's press conference.
Will Pakistan show up?
They'll have to show up. It's the final. They'll have to show up for it. Maybe it will take place separately, maybe 10 minutes.
It may not be the usual press conference where you have the two captains together as well.
No, it won't happen. I don't think they'll be standing together with the trophy also. There are so many complications. Will they stand together with the trophy? Will there be a separate photo shoot? Will the PCs take place together?
We have to create that sort of an image. Remember Louis Vuitton did with Ronaldo and Messi during the World Cup. You remember that photo went viral, and people thought that the photo shoot had taken place.
They were playing a game of chess, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they were playing a game of chess, but both did not.
They weren't there. Yeah,
both weren't shot together. They were both
smart
shot differently. Yeah,
smart AI though. But yeah, again, if any team wins, if suppose India win the trophy, will they take it from Mohsin Naqvi's hands? Because he's technically supposed to give them the trophy. If that happens, that's also, it's only going to be not the ACC, it is the CCC, Controversial Cricket Cup. This edition should be called not ACC, it should be called the CCC, Controversial Cricket Cup of 2025. That's how I look at it. Because see, today's game has zero significance. It'll just be another statistical addendum. That's it. In an ideal world, this should have determined your second spot for the final. But no, it's India and Pakistan. After Pakistan beat Bangladesh, or rather Bangladesh choked as always with 11-run loss. And Sri Lanka, on the other hand, after topping Group B, they have lost 2 straight games to go out.
And potentially could be on the verge of losing their last as well.
Yeah.
This is the toughest match, and actually, truth be told, if they had won the 2 so-called easier games, they would have come into today's game with no pressure. As it is, they come in with no pressure, but for the wrong reason. They're out.
I know. Imagine if Sri Lanka had beaten Pakistan, and you had a situation where 3 teams would have been tied on 2 points, and the net run rate would have come into play. Sri Lanka would have had to lose by a certain margin or win, or just win against India. But now that's also not happening.
Anyway, gents, now that we've spent enough time talking about the whole off-field issues, we've given everyone a sense of what exactly is it that's been happening in the ICC corridors. We're only 3 minutes away from toss taking place of this most crucial match of the season. Let's try and guess what is it that we can expect from the Indian team.
I think the last 2 guys, there are only 2 guys who haven't played, in Jitesh and Rinku. Might get a game today.
It would be the most sensible thing to do, right?
I think Bumrah rested. I think Ryan Tendeskate had mentioned that yes, he would be rested if India beat
secure
Bangladesh.
Qualification. Yeah.
But even that was implied. So for all you know, you might just tell him that, listen, you may not be needed to bowl that much. Play, maybe bowl 3 overs, keep your rhythm. You never know.
You never know. So I think these are the changes. I think we may see Jitesh, Rinku come, Bumrah rested, maybe. Or they may, in order to show, okay, we want to keep the winning momentum, let's keep an unchanged 11.
Are we also looking at a scenario where the batting order could look like a game of roulette?
Yes, 110%, I think. 110%.
Is there going to be
the Oman way.
some method? Is there going to be some method? Or is it going to be vibes? Is it going to be...
Sky will get impact player today.
You can't do that.
Try.
I mean, see, he's not been in form. This should be the game where he tries to come back to form. Rather than giving all the others, pehle aap. It reminds me of that Krantivir scene. The lady comes first, okay, for filling up water, because after a certain period of time, the water stops in their mohalla. नहीं, पहले आप भर दीजिए, आपको तो कोई काम नहीं है, पहले आप भर दीजिए, okay, भर दीजिए. 5 hours later, she's still in the back of the queue, she still hasn't got the water. Same with Surya, what he did in Oman. पहला वो, Arshdeep, you want to bat? Chalo, go ahead. Arshdeep and Harshit getting a promotion over Surya Kumar Yadav in that Oman game made it this experimentation a farce. There was no need. Him coming at number 11.
No, so you were just not accepting of the entire exercise that took place, or the fact that it stretched to the point that it did, where even an Arshdeep was batting ahead of him?
Stretched.
Okay. So you were okay till, let's say, the time that maybe an Aksar batted ahead of a Surya. Were fine till then.
Yeah.
But the last two...
Yeah, Sanju batting over him, Aksar batting over him, no problem. Surya had come at 6 or 7, great. No problem. But him coming at number 11 was a farce. Let's make no bones about it. How can your batting captain come at number 11 here? Come on.
Okay, Shivam wants to come in.
As Indian fan, I want in today's match, they should play the exact 11 which will be they play on the final.
Okay.
With same
Order as well. So Shivam says that he'd like to see India shape exactly the way they're going to be shaping up on the big day, which is 2 days away from now, and he would like to see the exact same batting order be followed as well. So no changes is what Shivam suggests. But do you think, guys, this is something India could be looking at?
See, we are seeing that Bumrah was warming up, okay? So I don't think that change is happening. But you don't know. It depends upon the team. What do they think? Do you need to give someone a break with the final just 2 days away, as you said?
What is it that you would have done?
Play the same 11. Like what you had against Pakistan. Play the same 11.
Shane?
I would make 2 changes, and 2 changes only. I'd keep Bumrah in the 11, but I would give Jitesh and Rinku a game, because they're the only ones who haven't played. So I'd say, okay, this is as good as a free hit as I'm going to get. Qualification is sealed. Guys, come in, get 1 game, stay match fit. And then I think for the final, I'd revert back to the same 11. But I also perhaps wouldn't do as extremely an experimentation with the batting lineup as we saw against Oman. That was a little next level.
Yeah. But see, Arshdeep could get a game, I don't know, but yeah, Sri Lanka I think will bat.
Will they? Because there's...
They'll bowl.
I think they'll bowl.
They'll chase.
No, but then now Dubai has become a bat first venue. It's not a chasing venue anymore now. Last 2 games that you saw, Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, Bangladesh, both bat first, they won the game.
But even then, overall, Siddharth still is in the numbers favor the team that's chasing.
Sure, it does.
And see, they are chasing.
Sri Lanka chose to bowl. But last 2 games, it's been very...
The last 2 games, both featured Bangladesh, Siddharth, so which is why I'm not going to read too much
and that
into it.
too,
Also,
not that big a total.
Exactly. And trust, truth be told, if there was a better batting unit, a unit that had more confidence and could hold on to their nerves, I think they would have at least chased in one of the 2 matches that they played. Both the times they sort of best up their own chase, and yesterday, for example, that to go at less than 7 and over, and even then you couldn't go ahead and win the match.
Yep. Depends. If there is dew today, then chasing becomes very easy. But if Sri Lanka may got 160, 170, then it is going to be very, very difficult.
Because not as if, the wickets have started turning square over here and even scoring 7 runs and over.
But it's becoming spongy.
It's become spongy. We know for a fact now that these are sticky wickets that you're getting in Dubai. But 7 and over in international cricket, no matter where you're playing, unless the ball's turning square, I don't think it should be a problem for decent sides out there.
So Sri Lanka have made 1 change in Chamika Karunaratne going out and Janit Liyanage comes in.
Chamika being dropped was a bit overdue, I think.
Looking at how quick that...
one match he gets and
they would have wanted to bat first, because it's a free hit game, so this is the kind of time where you look to test yourself and say, okay, what is a target that we can set?
Okay, so 2 changes. Bumrah and Dubey are out, Arshdeep and Harshit come in.
So that means Jitesh and Rinku are not getting a game through the tournament.
Imagine Rinku.
Oh, but but imagine they've gone with what do you call? They've dropped Dubey. That means they're going with 7 batters. Very interesting.
I think they count Harshit as a batter.
That's very ambitious of them.
Yeah. Harshit, see, he's a like-for-like replacement Shivam Dubey, na?
Right.
Faster than Dubey, but batting-wise also. Come on,
no,
yeah.
yeah.
He's got a century in first class.
I saw that 6 the other day that he hit, and I know, but we're expecting too much out of him. Then if you're comparing his batting standards with Shivam Dubey's,
And for that matter, his bowling standards. He's a 150 clicks bowler.
Yeah. So, yes, that is the thing. So, Bumrah,
there's a skill set. In fact, it's quite inverse, I would say.
But he was the like-for-like for Shivam Dubey. He was the concussion sub.
That match referee was on something, man.
I think it was
How could
Srinath.
you approve that?
I don't know what the hell was it, but yeah.
Clearly, Josh
we have
Butler
seen
wasn't happy.
Ravindra Jadeja getting replaced with
Yuzi Chahal.
Yeah.
and their skill sets are totally different. So yeah,
Both ended up being the man of the match. Both ended up picking about 3 wickets as well.
exactly. And it was, I think, he had already then made his debut in all the other 2 formats also by that time, I think. Harshit, yes. Yes.
No. Yeah. He had played the test.
Yeah, he had played a test match. I think ODI also, I think he had played. So yeah, let's look at the team in that sense. Okay, so let's take some comments first. 1 minute. Yes, you're correct, my friend. You're absolutely correct. So let's look at Sri Lanka's team then. Pathum Nissanka, Kusal Mendes yet again, Kusal Pereira, again very underwhelming Kusal Pereira, Charit Asalanka, Kamindu Mendes. Again, I think he's stuck in the 2010s.
In a way, now I'm thinking, apologies to cut you short, Siddharth. I'm just thinking of captains that have really set the stage on fire in this Asia Cup. Salman Ali Agha hasn't. Suryakumar Yadav did well only in that first game against Pakistan on the 14th, where he ensured that India got over the line. Otherwise, he's underwhelmed. Charit Asalanka has not performed to his standards.
Zakir Ali, whenever he's got
Zakir Ali to was stand-in na.
But prior to that also, the captains didn't do well. Rashid also underwhelmed.
Yeah, he just could have batted higher up and
Yeah. No, nobody has done.
Otherwise, the captains.
This has not been a tournament for captains. In that
Absolutely
sense.
not.
So Kamindu Mendes stuck in the 2010s for his batting in T20Is. Dasun Shanaka, Vanindu Hasaranga, Janit Lianage is there. Dushmanta Chamira, Mahish Tikshana, and Nuwan Tushara. And so you got 2 pacers, 3 you may say. Dasun also dibbly dobbly. Then you got Vanindu, you've got Mahish Tikshana, and that's how you're going to look at it. And let's look at the Indian playing 11. It's Abhishek Sharma, Shubman Gill, Suryakumar Yadav, Tilak Verma, Sanju Samson, hopefully gets to bat in that particular position, Hardik Pandya, Aksar Patel, Harshit Rana, Kuldeep Yadav, Arshdeep Singh, Varun Chakravarti. So you've got 3 spinners and 2 pacers in Hardik, Arshdeep. Okay, Harshit, 3 pacers, 3 spinners.
Yeah, you've gone with a fairly equal balance this time around. Of course, you've got you're still stuck with your 3 spinners. That shows how much faith you have in your spin trio or spin twins. Because again, it really comes down to mostly it's Kuldeep and Varun who are doing most of the damage. But yeah, I do think 11-wise very sorted. You don't need 8 batters against Sri Lanka. You didn't need it against Oman either. So good move that they've dropped out of Dubey and brought in, Harshit in essence.
Correct. Yep. So surface will remain good on the entire duration. So it has been played on the same pitch where they scored 168 against Bangladesh.
Correct.
So that's why I say batting first. Actually, Sri Lanka have handed it to them on a platter. Normally, you make a good start, you get some swing under the lights, minus the dew. So stroke making becomes all the more harder. So that's why Sri Lanka actually should have batted first. That's the way I look at it. So I think they have given it to them on a platter, this particular thing. First 6 overs you have to attack. That's what Abhishek will do. That's what Shubman will do. Big game for Shubman though. I mean, there is that one weakness that is emerging, coming back in. That incoming delivery. He seemed to have rectified it in test, but it's now haunting him in T20.
Just because I hope for Indian cricket to be prepared for a rainy day, and I want them to not be caught off guard when the ball's swinging around. For everything that you've seen good from Nuwan Tushara, besides the game that we saw from Sri Lanka, the last game that he played.
That was the game he had to perform.
Yeah, the game that he had to perform, and Sri Lanka really had to come up trumps, but couldn't. Hopefully he gets to generate that swing and put some sort of pressure on the Indian batters, because see, sooner or later you're going to be contending with situations where the ball is going to be swinging around, and can you go around hoiking the ball and go in with the same intent when the ball's moving around and you swing and miss a few times? That's what I'd like to see. How is it that you play in those swinging conditions? I know these are not ideal swinging conditions in Dubai, but under lights, you've seen Nuwan Tushara be that one bowler to test batters all around and get the ball to move away from the right hander, and that would mean bringing it inside, bringing it into the likes of Abhishek and Tilak. I'd like to see that happen. And how is it that Indians then respond to the swinging ball?
Yeah, that'll be the key, because very zippy and nippy off the deck. But in that last game against Pakistan, man, he had to perform, and he had already taken 7 wickets preceding 2 games. To have floundered the way that he did, and it was too much pressure on then Chamira, Hasranga and Thikshana in that sense. So initially I thought even against Bangladesh, I thought they played the wrong composition. They should have played Thikshana, because mystery spin, how on earth will you figure it out? Bangladesh don't play mystery spin well. They should have played Thikshana. I don't know what they were thinking at this stage. So that's the thinking that's seen them getting eliminated. The Asia Cup defending T20 champions are eliminated, by the way. So plenty at stake now.
And the second most successful side.
6. They'll remain in 6 now until the next edition. India are gunning for 9th. Pakistan are gunning for 3rd. Yeah. By the way, their 2 wins have come only in Bangladesh. They haven't won outside of Bangladesh at all, the titles. It's 1000 and 2012. That was how it is. So let's take a couple of comments now before we get to the predictions. And Shaurya Nanda is like saying, what do you make of Arshdeep's response to Haris? For me, he was the PO team without even featuring.
Shaurya, we mentioned that there was not a response in any way to Haris. If you look at the video in which Arshdeep can be spotted, you can see very clearly that it has the sponsor name of Dream 11, who you remember are no longer associated with the team and ended their partnership just before the Asia Cup. So this video, whenever it was taken, was not taken in the Asia Cup.
Correct, Shaurya Nanda. So that's why we have to be really careful while analyzing social media. By the way, this is only the beginning. From tomorrow, day after, and if something happens on Sunday, that spillover is going to happen on Monday too, and it'll be overwhelming.
Is there room for the crescendo to get even higher?
Yes. Now with the verdict that has come, Pakistan will be celebrating most of it.
Because Surya has been sanctioned.
They will have the bragging rights. The narrative will be controlled by them. They are anyway peddle lies. For the first time something factual's come out of it, they'll peddle it even more. So that is why that's what I told Shane that day. I'm glad that the matches have been telecast. Because Pakistan would have claimed victory on 14th and 21st also.
Pulled a North Korea in essence.
Exactly. They are a country that live in denial. Their existence has been in denial. So that's why glad for telecasted games that are happening. So sure, Nanda, that is the thing. Please be very, very careful.
Yeah, let's not fall prey to whatever it is we see and just believe it to be true. Verify, fact check, or if you can't, then well, let us know. We'll happily do the fact check for you guys.
Yeah. Manan Gupta is like saying, after all this, should BCCI use its influence to make sure that India and Pakistan are not in the same group in 2026 T20 World Cup? I mean, Manan Gupta, we are living in a very, very good paradise.
Fool's paradise.
It's a fool's paradise. It's like fool's gold. It will never happen that India and Pakistan will not be in the same group. You will see them. See, after trying for so many years, India and Pakistan are playing 3 times in one edition. And you got your dream final. That is what you all wanted. The fans wanted.
I mean, what I really fear for is that this might lead to a permanent return of the Super Sixes kind of format which you'd see in World Cups.
You're going to see it in 2027.
Yeah, in 2027 though, there's like an actual reason in the sense that you have 3 hosts.
Namibia, Zimbabwe and South Africa.
Yeah, but I mean, what if they say that, this is a good way to guarantee at least 2 matches?
Yeah.
Then that's... Group them together and then hope that they make it to the Super Sixes also. You're done.
Although in the Super Sixes, you don't play each other in that sense. It's a crossover.
No problem. They'll make them all play each other.
Could happen in the semi-final.
They make the rules.
There
Who's stopping
could
them?
be a semi-final in that sense. So that is why I see, because Sri Lanka, when you look at it against Australia in 2003 and 2007, they played in the Super 6 and in the final. India can play in the league stage and in the knockout stage, semi-final or final, in that kind of an arrangement. Because Pakistan didn't qualify in 2003 to the Super 6. So that's why India played them only once, but in the Super 6 stage, anything. In 1999 also, you only played them once, only in the Super 6 stage. You were not clubbed together.
Even in 2003, India-Pakistan's match was in the latter stage.
League.
It was the league?
Yeah, it was
Oh, I thought it was the Super 6. Maybe my memory is
India
failing me.
began their campaign against the Netherlands. They then were hammered against Australia.
Yeah, 125 all out.
Then they played Zimbabwe. Then they played Namibia. Then they played England. And they took on Pakistan.
So
May
somebody-
1.
Six.
March 1.
So that's how many matches you counted? Six matches. Yeah, but they were placed in groups of 7. So, yeah.
That's the way it was. So, and did we play Kenya? We played Kenya in the
You played Kenya in the Super 6.
Super 6, yeah. Zimbabwe, Kenya,
New Zealand.
New Zealand also. Yes, that was the way. Deepu Bharadwaj saying, sir, reality is BCCI ordered team to speak post-match due to backlash going on in India. But now they have set the precedent. If Pakistan win on Sunday, gosh, you have to be ready for worst speech by Pak.
Oh, it'll get really bad if it really comes down to that.
If
it'll
you
get really
give
bad.
it, you've got to take it, my friend. And if Pakistan do these things, anyway, even without winning, they have been doing these kind of things. If they win, get ready for it, my friend. And it's a year of firsts. Anything can happen.
Ashish Dar says that whenever Wasim Akram is in commentary, he uses the phrase under pressure. Maybe he uses this phrase in his daily life. I mean, yeah, Wasim, does tend to circle back to certain phrases a lot.
In Ashish, commentary is not easy. That's what I'll just say. It's not an easy task whatsoever.
We've seen live examples of it on our own shows sometimes.
Of course. Of course. Oh, but Srijit RKR is not happy. What's the need for Dubey to be rested?
I mean, he's been bowling a lot. I think this is the most he's bowled in a sustained run in his entire career.
Correct.
So maybe they thought, okay, let's give him a bit of rest. He's bowled 4 overs on one occasion also in this tournament.
4
so
overs. There was this other
3
one,
overs.
3 overs.
Yeah. So I think, okay, no harm resting him really. No harm.
He's bowled 4 overs, I think, twice, if I'm not mistaken.
See, once was, I think, against Pakistan.
And once against Oman, where in the last over, I think
Yes, you're right. There's been 2 matches. Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Proved to be the match winner. He's proven, in fact, to be the match
the
winner
ball.
with the ball much more than the bat.
Against UAE, he bowled thrice. 3 overs.
Yeah.
So he's
Because
bowled an
UAE
awful
folded
lot.
up for 60.
So he's bowled an awful lot in this particular tournament. So that's why he's being
Again,
rested.
struck thrice in that UAE game as well.
Correct.
I mean, getting the ball to nip back and all those kind of things. The way the bowler, and pace-wise, he's looked good, 130 kmph.
That's what I'm saying. If there's one thing, like people always say, what does the batting coach do? What does the bowling coach do? If there's one thing India's bowling coach has done is made Dubey a better bowler. Mone Mokal deserves some credit for that. He's made Shivam Dubey at the very least a competent bowler.
Yeah.
Otherwise, at one point, he had the leap of Zahir Khan and the speed of Rajat Bhatia.
Yes. Ross Taylor will testify to that. Yeah. Go down if there is any further.
Let's see. Arvind Athres says, Shane, talk about your favorite KL Rahul's 176 knock today. Brilliant run chase.
We have done a video on it. It is up on
And for context, I had done one yesterday. He had actually retired hurt because he had a fever. So I think it's great that he's in form. He'd been in decent form during the England series as well. He'd gotten starts, had a few good knocks there. So I have absolutely no problem with KL Rahul, the test player, by the way,
ODI.
and ODI player. My problem always came with KL Rahul, the T20 player. So I don't see a way back for him in T20s, but I think in ODIs and tests, he's found a niche. And in tests in particular, he's finally playing in the position he was always supposed to be playing in, as an opener. Poor guy otherwise was used in the middle order more often than not.
BGT, he was used at number 3, then he was used at number 5, then he was opener because Rohit Sharma came in and shuffled the entire thing up. But yeah, I mean, this is the highest ever total chased in the history of A cricket. Ever. 413. It's the 6th highest in first class cricket in India.
Yeah.
The highest has been 536 if I'm not mistaken. West zone versus South zone in 2010.
Correct.
And apart from that, You've had chaser 480, 421, 500 plus one more time. So KL Rahul and Sai Sudarshan, fantastic knocks. Dhruv Jurel also chipped in with a great cameo. So that's why.
Yes.
Freaking awesome thing. Asalanka says they want to restrict India somewhere around 170, 170. Don't they have confidence to restrict India below 170? Can they chase if India will score 170? I don't get it.
He had to say what he had to say. But and to answer your question, no. They are not chasing if India get 170 plus. Sorry. Deban Majumdar says, I've been... all right, we'll have to wait a little bit to get Devan's thoughts. Go slightly up. It was there. Yeah, I've been continuously thinking about our playing 11 in the T20 World Cup 2026. Feel we might play Arshdeep instead of one spinner, but how do you drop a Kuldeep or Varun? That is, in fact, the unfortunate choice that you'll have to make. And most likely, if you ask me, I think it'll be Varun. Harsh as it may seem, Kuldeep has been the better bowler. So it's a hard choice, and it also
They
shows...
want 8 batters, so Akshar will make it.
Yeah, and also you have to remember one thing. You're talking about it might be Arshdeep. You're forgetting one bowler who's not in the scheme of things right now. Siraj.
Yeah.
Siraj could very well be back in the scheme of things for T20s. You don't know. He's had a decent IPL. He's only really, I think, not played. I think he had an injury this thing. Or no, he's not considered for this Asia Cup. He's not considered. So, but you never know. Things might change.
Because he was there in the A tour, he was there playing in...
Yes, and he's there in the Test series as well.
Of course.
He's
your... Actually, look at it, de facto spearhead in the test.
Workhorse.
Yeah.
I think though for now you're not looking at him. I think he's out of favor.
Out of favor briefly, but you never know. Things can change. Of course, if he's not there, then I think Arshdeep comes in place of one of the spinners. You are right.
Yeah. Rinku not playing a test match with a first class average of 54. 39 first class average test he plays in. He's taking a dig at Sai Sudarshan.
No, I understand, but I think the thing with Rinku is he's being seen more as a white ball specialist. It's you can say it's unfair, you can say it's not, although I agree it's actually been very good for UP in first class cricket, and you have to also remember that for UP he bats much higher up the order. For India and for even KKR he bats actually as a finisher much lower down the order, but for UP he normally bats at like 3-4. So yeah, he has scored a lot of runs, and I think if you really want to, don't forget they have named him in test squads. So it's not like he's not being seen as an option. It's just I think he's yet to get that breakthrough moment, and that's fair. No problem.
Well, GGK with his usual dose of Sanju got
Sanjuism.
Yeah, Sanjuism. Let Sanju and Abhishek open and see the magic happen. I wish that was the case, but no. If Shubman is there, Sanju can't open. At max, he can come to 3. If Shubman falls cheaply, then he comes in at 3. But otherwise, if Surya Kumar is not in the mood to experiment, he'll be at 3.
Yeah.
Unfortunate, but what to do?
Yeah, then at best Sky is getting in either 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Dependent.
Raj Das Gupta, Pak wounded, insulted by cricketing world, still final पहुंच, बस competitive करके खेले 2 बार, कुछ नहीं compete किया, थोड़ा cricket पे पहले जैसा interest वही BCCI control करता, world cricket वही final पे.
Great.
Too many control, compete, insult. It's like
Appreciate the thoughts.
Appreciate it. It's like Chandu ke chacha ne Chandu ke chacha. Yeah.
Deepu Bhardwaj sir is the famous line from Family Man. हमको हर बार जीतना पड़ता है और उनका एक बार काफी है for Pak. I know.
Ooh. YK. If you know,
Yes.
you know. Yes.
Good one,
indeed,
Deepu. Good one.
Sarat Chandra says, will Iyer be able to play ODIs? Is he fit enough for that? I think he's tarnishing his golden days. Gigi wanted Rohit, Jaiswal, Gill, Kohli, and if Iyer isn't fit enough, Gigi will do it.
See, Shreyas Iyer at least this time has been very open that, see, I do have an injury, I do have a medical condition, like I have been facing discomfort. He's at least opened up to the BCCI. So, see, he is playing every format that he can. Ajit Agarkar in the press conference said that, look, we are looking at him as a leadership prospect, but not now. We are looking at every player very closely in that sense who exhibits leadership prospect. For example, Shreyas Iyer, Punjab Kings took them to the final.
Won an IPL with
KKR. Took Delhi Capitals to the final.
2020.
So, see, he is there, but it will be very interesting. He's not going away from ODIs. He's fit enough to play ODIs.
Yeah, I think his body is good enough to handle ODIs. He's been a regular in the ODI side for 2 years now.
A match winner in the Champions Trophy. Yeah.
Champions Trophy finalist in the World Cup. So he's played. I think he'll play ODIs, although I don't know if he's a captaincy candidate in that regard. I think, yeah, of course, he is a candidate, logically speaking, but
Only
he's
after 2027.
his age is not quite on his side.
How old is he? 32?
30, 31, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 33 will
Not
be
more
by-
than 31.
Yeah, so that's
So age may not be. Vinod says that KL floating around in tests is a myth. He opened a lot until he was dropped due to inconsistency. Even Pudji was dropped for him in England. Should be happy for accommodating and for chance in middle instead of complaining. Who's complaining though?
But KL floated around his tests is not a myth.
Yeah,
But
he
agreed,
has.
he opened a lot.
He did open a fair bit, but he also played just as much in the middle order because team management thought he's a quote unquote classy batter who can quote unquote bat anywhere.
See what you have done, Shane. Look what this is the
I
same
didn't do
thought
anything.
that
I didn't do anything.
prior to your casual contract, this is what happened.
Also, just a confirmation coming in from Shivam that Shreyas Iyer is 30.
So he'll be 32 in 2027.
We are younger than Harshit.
Is it?
2 years.
How 2 years?
No.
Same age, no?
Same age.
Yeah.
Same age.
Yeah.
11 years younger than me, though. You got my age.
I know nothing says India will win the cup, but Sri Lanka will beat them today. Mark my words.
Sure, we'll remember that. I know nothing, but we'll forget your name. Because I know nothing. That is the point. So, yeah.
Go write down. Let's see if there's a couple more we can
Also,
take. whilst
today's
the-
match referee is Richie Richardson.
It is. It is. Because Pycroft is there for the final. That'll be interesting. Avi Sinha is like saying India has opened the Pandora box post first game. If by any chance Pakistan win the final, it'll be so ugly scene I can only imagine. Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Indeed. Avi, we just took your question.
Avi, yeah, we've taken it.
You'll see it after 5-7 seconds. Yeah. So
अभी आपका सवाल लिया.
सवाल लिया है. Yeah. But it'll be it. I think you'll have to either break the TV or shut it down immediately and go.
No,
try-
please. Let's not talk about breaking TVs over here.
Oh yes, true that. But you don't get fined for it, by the way.
Okay.
So
So it's time for the national anthems, which means we have about 5 minutes more for discussions.
And
predictions.
1 minute 10 seconds.
Yeah.
The Sri Lankan anthem.
70 seconds is the national anthem of Sri Lanka.
Fair shout to the Sri Lankan fans. There's a few of them there on the ground. I mean, considering how bad the team have been in the Super 4, it's good of them to
Any Sri
be.
Lankan fan that you know.
Hmm?
Since you got so many friends on the other side.
No. They were at their peak in 2018. After that, they also are like kind of shadow thing. Like we don't want to support the Sri Lankan team. They're pretty disillusioned with their team at this point in time because they are not winning anything. They haven't qualified for the Champions Trophy this in 2025. They didn't qualify. 23 their performances were poor. WTC also they're not setting the stage on fire. Where have they? Which was your last major win against a major team? You have to go back 6 years.
Didn't they beat Australia in some home bilateral series? That was it.
The ODI series.
Yeah, that was an ODI series.
They drew that series 1-1 by the way. The
But they
tests.
didn't win. Nah.
And in the recent series that Australia played, they were hammered 2-0.
Yeah, blanked.
They haven't won against South Africa. They haven't won against India. They haven't won against England. Although they did win one match against England though. So,
Okay, let's quickly tell you the thoughts of Tilak Verma, who spoke briefly before the match begins. He says that finishing the games is something that he always looks forward to, and it came against Pakistan. He was very happy that he could do the job for the team. Since the last couple of years, he says, I have batted at different positions, and Gulati sir said...
Gotti.
Gulati?
Yeah, sorry, Gotti.
Gotti.
Gotti sir said...
missing Gulati.
like,
Gambhir.
who's Gulati now in the Indian team? But yeah,
you know one guy who might have gone there.
Gotti sir said that everyone must be flexible and try and play according to the situation. I do love a lot of fitness. I got inspired by Virat Kohli, and he's someone who has taken the fitness standard to the next level. So yes, I do spend a lot of time at the gym. The wickets have been on the slower side, and he's speaking of Dubai, and he's already spoken to Surya that today's pitch is slightly better for batting when compared to Indian conditions. The surface and outfield is a bit slow here.
Correct.
So Tilak, yeah, let's see which position he bats. He's been also floating up and down in that sense, but he's doing well in the game against Pakistan. He did really well. So yeah.
He's one of the best run-down batsmen in India.
So the legend, two legends in fact, Sanat Jayasuriya and Upul Chandana.
Oh yeah, Supal Chandan. I was trying to place
The leg
that.
spinner.
Yeah.
What
I
a
remember
gun
that.
fielder, man.
Yeah.
What a gun fielder, Upul Chandana. So those were the heydays, but now Sri Lanka are facing the steepest fall.
Those were the heydays, and nowadays is the maydays.
Seriously, a mayday. That 2019 the economic crisis that happened a couple of years back now has dented their cricket in a
Oh,
big way.
even before that, it's not like they were uprooting any trees. The cricket in as a whole was on a little bit of a decline throughout, because I think the economic crisis just kind of made it worse.
Worse. See,
Also, expensive ticketing, as we know, in Sri Lanka.
see,
That's taken the.
when was the last time? Do you know that Sri Lanka has never had a full house for a test match ever? In a capacity of 20,000, there'll only be 5,000, 6,000. And
I think that was Siddharth. I don't think India covered itself in glory either.
no, I mean prior to the stadium renovation and everything, they have had a lot of. Chennai, Ahmedabad. You look at all the other centers. There is a fair sprinkling.
But I'm just sticking with the word you used. Sell out.
Test matches, you see BGT. Most of the test matches that happened in India, it was a sold out crowd. When you look at it, Delhi was sold out in the second test. So
Anyhow, predictions. Okay, I'll go first. I think India batting first, so I think they get to about 178 and win. Yeah,
I'm going 182.
182,
you can go lower. It's all right.
188.
He's gone higher.
I'll go higher. I think maybe this bowling totally demoralized may not happen, but yeah, 188 and India win.
So thank you so much then for joining us.
My prediction is Surya will score above 30 to 40.
So our producer Shivam believes Sky gets his mojo back today. Gets a
Wow.
quick fire 30-40
For that, he has to bat in the right position
or bat.
or bat. Yeah. Maybe Abhishek and Shubman could have a record stand today. Let's see what happens.
That means it doesn't get too bad.
That's why I'm saying.
Forget those 30-40 runs.
Yeah. So see you guys for the mid innings and lot of videos coming your way from Sports Today. Do check out what Sunil Gavaskar had to say on this current situation between India and Pakistan. You don't want to miss that. So bye bye. See you for the mid innings.
Bye.